By the end of this lesson, you will be able to estimate a square root, simplify this problem so that there's no square root sign, although we're not going to do a number that big because that's kind of crazy. Whoa, that's radical. Hey, that's my line. Who's this one? Which Ninja Turtle is this? Donatello? Michelangelo?
Donatello.
I didn't make this slide, but a teacher much cooler than me made that slide. Anyways. Radicals. Okay, look, this is cute. Hey. So, she's on the phone, and she's saying, or it says, welcome to Homework Helpline. For help with science, press 2. For help with math, press the square root of 9. Ha ha. You have to already know math to even get help with math. Yes.
I wish that road sign, that's going to be dangerous.
Speed limit, square root of 677, heavily controlled. So go to your calculator right now, go to your calculator, and find out what the square root of 677 is. Go to your calculator and find the square root of 677. 26? Speed limit, 26 miles per hour, heavily patrolled. And then guys, look at this. I want this desk in my house. This desk is a square root. Do you see it? How cool is that? That is the coolest desk ever. Okay, anyways. Simplifying radicals. Does anyone know what this is called right here? This. Yes, what is it called? This starts with an R. It's called a radical, so write that down. That is a radical.
Where do I put these?
Oh, I'll come get them. Does anyone know what's called underneath the radical sign? It also starts with an R. It also starts with an R. Radical and rada. Ooh, Ashley knows it. What is it? Radicand. Very good. Radical and radicand. So the number under the square root is called the radicand. So if you hear me say radicand, now you know what I'm talking about. Radical, radicand. Okay, moving on. So this means the square root of 16. In other words, it's asking you, what number can I square to get 16? So when I say, what's the square root of 16, you say 4. No, the answer's not 4 squared, the answer's 4, and that's a common mistake. So the square root of 16 is 4. It's not 4 squared, it's 4. Because 4 is the number that I could square, and I could get 16.
I would say 4 squared.
4 squared equals 16, yes. But the square root of 16 is 4 and only 4. Believe me, I'm going to see this on some of your papers. The square root of 16 is not 4 squared, it's just 4. Because what is 4 squared? It's 16. So that's like saying the square root of 16 is 16, and that does not make sense. So don't do that. These are the perfect squares. Is there a spot to write them down? I don't think so. I recommend, it just is helpful to memorize 1 through 12. You don't have to. I'm not going to give you a pop quiz on it. But if you know the perfect squares 1 through 12, and you can get them from your calculator, you don't need to write them down. But if you can memorize them, it's going to make a lot of your problems go faster. So if you like to solve things faster, you can memorize these. So what's the square root of 25? 5. What's the square root of 144?
12.
Square root of 64? Square root of 4? Square root of 36? So you know a lot of these, okay? Just stare at them for a while, one night this weekend, and then you'll know your perfect squares 1 through 12. Oh, well, just go ask your calculator. You can do 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared. You can get them all from your calculator. What? Okay, Ashley said it's not helpful to memorize them. Oh, okay, I didn't know because you wouldn't repeat it for me. All right, let's find these perfect squares. You already know these. Write them down, but they're not on there either. Yes, there are. What is a perfect square? A perfect square is a number that when you take the square root of it, Austin and Julius, you get a whole number as an answer. So a perfect square is something where you take the square root and you get a whole number as an answer. So not a decimal. So square root of 49.
7.
Square root of 25. Square root of 121. These are called perfect squares. Did I write 7 squared as my answer? No. if you write 7 squared as the answer, will I have to mark it wrong on your quiz? Yes, I will. Because the answer is not 7 squared. It's 7. All right. But now, in the real world, if you don't have a calculator with you, or if you see a square root, I know you have your cell phones now, but anyways, if you see a square root and you just want to have good number sense, you see square root 10 and you just want to know, I don't know what the square root of 10 is, but I want to know what it is approximately. I want to be able to make a reasonable guess as to what it is. So if you know your perfect squares, you can make a reasonable guess. What perfect square is 10 really close to? 9. We know the square root of 9. What is the square root of 9? It's 3. 10 is a little bit more than 9. So the square root of 10 is going to be a little bit more than 3. A little bit more than 3. This is called approximating radicals. Estimating. It's called estimating. The square root of 10 is 3.1. Calculator under your desk. And we'll do the first one together and then you'll do the next two. You just need to think of your perfect squares and which perfect square is 19 close to. 18 is not a perfect square. 16 is a perfect square, and what's another one? 25. So what we are trying to say on the other slide is square root of 19 is between square root of 16 and square root of 25. Which one is it closer to?
16.
A little bit closer to 16. So what is the square root of 16? 4, and this one's 5. So the square root of 19 is between 4 and 5. Which one is it going to be closer to? 4. So let's take a guess without touching your calculator. 4.5. No, but that'll be right in the middle. 4.32. Okay, there we go. Let's try this one. Square root of 24. What is that close to? Perfect square. Ooh, that's real close to 25. What is the square root of 25? 5. So what do you want to guess the square root of 24 is? 4 point. This is a little bit less. 4 point what? 9's 2? 4.8? I'll do 4.87. I'll do the median of those two. I'm just guessing. You can have your own guess. 51. What perfect squares is that close to? 64 and 49. So here's the low end, is 49. Here's the high end, 64. Which one is 51 closer to? What is the square root of 49? 7. So it's between 7 and 8, but it's closer to 7. Between 7 and 8, but it's closer to 7. You make your own guess. Don't copy mine. Make your own guess. 7 point. I'll put 2. All right, now get your calculator out and find out the actual answer. Square root of 19, square root of 24, square root of 51. Austin, what's the square root of 19? Ah. Whoa, we were close on that one. My goodness, we were close. Omar, what's the square root of 24? Why don't we have our calculators? Go get it. Catherine, what's the square root of 24? 4.9? Yeah, you guessed? It's on your calculator. 4.89. If we're not being perfect here. We were pretty close on that one. 4.87 and it's 4.89. Were some of y'all cheating or were we just that close? Alea, what's the square root of 51? 0.14? 7.14. How close were you on that one? You made your own guess? No? 1, 2.
No,
It's 7.4.
that's what
You put 7.12. What is the answer?
7.14.
Oh, okay, cool.
She's like confused.
Well, Dimitri was like making this weird noise. Did you not get square root of 51? 7.14? Okay. So that's all I'm going to say about that. That's approximating without using your calculator. Okay? Now we're going to do what today's lesson is really about. It is called simplifying radicals. Hey, Kenneth, grab the notes right there. Thank you. Has anyone ever done a factor tree before, where you take a number and you dissect it into the products? If you don't like them, I think they're so fun.
I think they go on forever and ever and ever.
Okay, well, I actually have a story that goes with mine, so that maybe it'll help you remember how to do it. So this is my jail story. Okay. Once upon a time, in a town called Numberland, the prime numbers developed an evil scheme to take over the world. What's a prime number?
Numbers that are,
That can be divided into.
They can't be divided into. They're only divisible by themselves and 1. So 2 is prime, 3 is prime, 5 is prime, 7 is prime. Give me another prime. 13, 11, 9 is not prime. It's divisible by 3. 7's already up there.
I didn't know.
17, 19, okay. Very good. So, the authorities took action and decided to throw all the prime numbers in jail. Dun, dun,
It's
dun.
like Phineas.
The jails were shaped like radicals. Look, there's jail. So all the prime numbers are stuck in a radical. It's not bad. But the prime numbers were too smart for the authorities. They found that if they could locate an identical prime twin, then together they could escape jail. If they found a twin. Only if they found a twin. Yay! We're free! Yippee! But those who could not find a twin were stuck in jail forever. Aw, shucks. 5 is stuck in jail forever. Poor 5. Okay, so how does this actually work? So skip the square root of 720, go to the square root of 75. You see that? Square root of 75. 75 can be, you can produce 75 by multiplying 25 times 3. So I want you to write 25 times 3. 3 is prime. Whenever you catch a prime number, you're like the policeman. Catch him, circle him. Whenever you find a prime one, you circle it. 25 is not prime, so you keep going. And you say, what multiplies to get 25? And you're like, oh, well, 5 and 5. So you write 5 and 5, and you circle them, because they're prime. Any prime number who's circled, it has a twin, gets to escape. If they're circled and they don't have a twin, they're stuck. So the 5s have a twin, they're going to escape, and the 3 is going to be stuck. So what the answer is going to look like is 5, the 5 escaped, root 3, because the 3 is stuck in jail. And that is called simplifying a radical. So the square root of 75 simplified is 5 root 3. What does simplify mean? It's kind of like this. It's kind of like taking 3 over 6, and you would never write that as an answer. You would write 1/2. It's like reducing it. Think of it as reducing a fraction. That's what we're doing when we're simplifying a radical. Okay? Let's try that one that was 720. Let's try 720. Ready? Your first job is always to say what numbers multiply to get 720. And everyone might pick different numbers. But what I see first is I see 72 and 10. And let's pretend you don't see that. You would just take 720 and you would just start dividing it by numbers in your calculator. Divide it by 2, divide it by 4, divide it by 7, whatever you want to do. But I know I can see immediately that it's 72 and 10 because it has a 0 on the end. All right, so let's keep going. What are factors of 10? 2 and 5. Are either of those prime? They're both prime. Circle, circle. If you see a prime, you need to circle it. There we go. Okay. What numbers multiply to get 72? 9 and 8. Are either of those prime? No, they're not. Keep going. What's 9?
3.
3 and 3. Prime and prime. Circle them. What's 8? 4 and 2. 4 is not prime, but 2 is, so I'm going to circle 2. And 4. 2 and 2. So, Ashley, how do we decide when to circle a number? Which ones are we circling? The prime numbers. It's kind of like the dead end. You get to a dead end, you circle it. Okay. Dimitri, what pairs do you see? Name a pair. Twins. See some twins? What? 3. Those are a twin. So 3, I cross them out. 3 escaped. Do it with me. Cross out the 3s and write it there because it escaped. It's gone. It's out of jail. Kendall, what's another pair that you see? I see a pair of 2s. Cross 2s out. A 2 escaped. And Lewis, what's another pair? Lewis M. 2. Another 2. Megan, who's stuck forever in jail? 5. That's the only one that didn't have a twin. So draw the radical and put 5. I know, poor 5. Well, it was 3 last time. Now, a 3 escaped, a 2 escaped, and a 2 escaped. You don't add them together. You need to multiply them. What's 3 times 2? What's 6 times 2? So the answer to this problem is 12 root 5. You multiply them. So everyone go to your calculator and do square root of 720. And then do 12 root 5. And make sure you get the same decimal. Because you can check your own answers. You can grade your own paper. Square root of 720, enter. 12 root 5, enter. Hopefully you get 26.8 both times. And then you know that you reduced it correctly. All right, let's try some more. We've already done number 1. Try number 2 by yourself. Julius, what numbers did you choose? Because there's different things that multiply to get 45. 5 is prime, so I circled it. 9 is 3 times 3. So Brett, what's your final answer on number 2? 3 root 5. The 3 found a twin. So the 3 escapes. And the 5 again is left all alone. Poor 5.
Why are we talking about people escaping from jail instead?
Okay, escaping from the radical, not jail, the radical. It's Numberland. It's different. Things are different in Numberland. It's not real jail. Okay, Naja, what do you want to choose for number 3?
20 and 10.
Love it. 20 and 10. Neither of those are prime, so I'm not going to circle either of them. Ava, what do you want to do next? 5 and 2. Awesome. 5 and 2. Circle, circle. Those are both prime. Those are dead ends. Lewis C., what numbers multiply to get 20? Perfect. It's one way to do it. You could have said 10 and 2. 5 and 4. 2 and 2. Do you understand that your tree might look different? You might have chosen different numbers, different products, but you're going to end up with the same answer. All right, everybody, who escapes? 1 pair of 5 escapes.
2.
And 1 pair of 2. Look, there's 3 2s here. Only twins escape. Only twins.
What if
So those 2 escape. What?
What if none escape?
Then it's already simplified. Like if you did this in the calculator 2/7 and you tried to reduce it, guess what the calculator would tell you? 2/7. So if you try to reduce square root of 30, guess what? The answer is square root of 30 because it can't be reduced, okay?
Got it.
What is this final answer? You can't say 5 times 2 root 2. You need to simplify it. What is it?
10 root 2.
10 root 2. So the answer to number 3 is 10 root 2. Keep going. Shelby's not here. Torin, numbers that multiply to get 18. 9 and 2. That's one way to do it. 9 would be 3 and 3. Now this one's different because there was already a number outside the radical. There was already one hanging out. So don't forget about this 5 that's already hanging out here. So what you do is you rewrite the 5 because he was already there. Who escapes?
3.
3's are gone. We're going to multiply and not add. Multiply and not add. And 2 is left in the radical. 5 times 3 is? The answer is 15 root 2. On a quiz, what would you do once you have your answer? Well, circle it. You would plug this into your calculator. You would plug the question into your calculator, and you would make sure you get the same decimal. You can grade your own paper. There's no reason to turn in a paper that you haven't checked. You should absolutely check it. Matt, 150, what do you want to use? 15 and 10. The most obvious choice, very good. I'll take it. Jeanette, what do you want to do next? 2 and 5. Circle, circle. Austin, keep us going. 5 times 3. Circle, circle. Oh, this hasn't happened yet. This is new. What escapes? The 5 escapes because this is twin. The 5 escapes. This hasn't happened yet. 2 numbers are trapped in the radical. 2 numbers. What do you think we're going to do? Add or multiply them? We've been multiplying things, so we are going to multiply. You're right. A 3 is stuck, and a 2 is stuck. Put them back in the radical. They're back. So what is the answer? 5 root. What's 3 times 2? 6. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There was already a 2. You're very good. Very good. Very good. No reason to freak out. 10 root 6. Very good. Okay. We're gonna do that tomorrow. Let's do that tomorrow. Okay. Yay, we're done.